Now, writers, we're going to talk about how to work with our partners today and how to help them make their writing better and how we can give them compliments and how we can ask questions. And I'm going to share some of my writing, and we're going to, I'm going to in a minute ask somebody to help me with telling me what they like about my writing, because when we work with our partners, we have to be really, we have to think about not just their writing, but we have to think about their feelings, and we have to think about saying things that make them feel good and want to fix their writing or make their writing more interesting without hurting their feelings. So if you said, that story stinks, is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down story? A thumbs down. Yeah, that's a thumbs down comment, isn't it? That's right. That's a good thing. And even when you're working with partners. And what we're going to do is when you go to work with partners, you're going to be reading your story to them. You remember how you had your partner, and you're going to be telling them, I want you to listen to my story, and I am going to be giving you some sticky notes. And when they're reading, you will take the sticky note and put it in a spot where you hear something you really like. And then you'll have another sticky note where you will put it somewhere where I have a question, or maybe you need more details here. And that's so that you don't have to stop them when they're reading their story. They get to read their story all the way from beginning to end. But by you putting the sticky note, and that's what, here's my story that I'm going to be asking somebody to read with me. If they have the sticky note, I'm reading, and they like this part right here, they can just stick the sticky note on the side and I'll keep reading. Or it could be this part, or it could be this part, but we don't interrupt the reader. Do you understand that? So when you go and work with partners, we'll walk around and we'll help you with that. But that's what you're going to be given, some sticky notes. And so you're going to be listening, and if you're the reader, you will start out by telling your partner, I want you to listen for something you like and something that you have questions about or you think I need more detail. So that's our step one. And then, if you're the reader, you will read your story. If you're the listener, you're going to have your sticky notes and you're going to mark as they read. And then at the end, you will go back and you will tell them, this sticky note is something that I liked. And we always start with the thing we like. And even if what we like isn't at the beginning, it might be later in the story, we always go to that first. Because it's just nice to say something nice first. And then we say, but my question is, or maybe in this part and different things that maybe you can tell them. And then you're going to get a colored pen. Now I brought some purple pens that I'm going to leave here, and Ms. Zorner has some red pens, and those can only be used for fixing or revising our writing. We don't use the colored pens, and we pick either purple or red, and we just use that color. So if you use purple the first time, and then in a couple days you need to revise again, you still use purple. If you use red the first time, and you go back, you use red the second time. We don't write on ourselves with our colored pens, and we don't color our pictures with our colored pens. And if we need to fix something, and I can show you in my writing, you can see one thing that I did when I was working on this with another group of first graders is they said, this is something you need to show that you thought this, and this was an exciting thing. And so So I added an exclamation point there. So you can see how that's a different color than what my original pen was. And the same thing here. I made a couple of revisions to my story because the person I was working with had a question here. And they thought that I needed to change, they said, this sounds like you more than like pizza. And so I changed a word. And so you can see I didn't scribble. I just drew one line with my colored pen. And with that, I can still see. So if I decide I like the original, I can go back and I can say, no, I want to use this one. So that's how we use our colored pens. And when we're finished with the colored pens, they go back where we got them so that they will be there to use all year long. Okay? Who do you think I should have help me today?
Ella would be.
Bella?
So do you remember what you're looking for, Bella?
Yeah, and when you're working with a partner, you want to sit side by side, but because I'm bigger, I'm going to have her stand up so that we're kind of at the same side. So you have two sticky notes. One, you're going to mark when you hear something. I'm going to read this so that everybody can hear it. That you like, and then you're going to mark a place where you think I need to work. And what I really want you to pay attention to is your stories are supposed to be small moment stories. You're not supposed to tell about a whole day. You're just supposed to be telling about one thing. So I want you to listen and see if my story tells about a small moment or do I tell about a big moment and I maybe need to work on changing my story, okay? So this is my story. I'm zooming down the hill. This is way too fast, I think. When I wake up, I'm in the hospital. My head hurts. On the way home, we stop for pizza. We never get pizza from the Nibble Scribnib. That's the name of a pizza place. I love pepperoni pizza. Now I'm going to read it again, and this time, when you hear something you like, it could be a word, or it could be the way that I have a good lead, a strong beginning. You find something that you like, okay? And I'm going to just read the first part of it and see if there's something you like there. I'm zooming down the hill. This is way too fast, I say. Something you like there? No? Okay. When I wake up, I'm in the hospital. You like that word, part of it? Okay, so why don't you put a sticky note by there so then if this was your partner, then afterwards you would tell her, I liked it when you said this. Now, pay attention. Do I go from a small moment to a big moment and start telling too much? So, when I wake up, I'm in the hospital. My head hurts. On the way home, we stop for pizza. We never get pizza from the Nibble Scribnib. I love pepperoni pizza. Now, am I talking about a whole day, or am I talking about, what's my story mainly about? What do you think my story is mainly about? Okay, so that's what my story is mainly about, the fact that I went down the hill.
So do you have a suggestion for her? Where your sticky note should go? What kind of suggestion would you make for her?
Do I start talking about more than going down the hill? Should I go for the small moment?
Should she start talking about going to the pizza place?
Yes.
Or should she keep her small moment story about going down the hill and hitting her head?
And that's what, did you have a question as far as what happened when I went down the hill? Because I said, this is way too fast. I think when I wake up, I'm in the hospital. Do you have a question about maybe something there? How did I get to the hospital? All right, so let's just put that right there, okay? Because you have a question. So that's what now, we're all done, and I'm your partner. What do you like about my story?
I like how you did the sentence when I wake up. I like that sentence.
Okay. And then what's your question?
The question is, how did you get to the hospital?
Yeah, what happened that got me to the hospital? So now, after, if Bella were my partner, she would then read her story. And I would do the same thing with her. And then I would go back and take my writing folder. This is my big, giant writing folder. I would take this, and I would look at it, and I would think, I need to add some more details. I need to take my purple pen, and I have to tell what happened after I thought, this is way too fast. When I woke up, I'm in the hospital. If you look at my picture, what do you think maybe
Lily?
how it happened there? I'm sledding. And I don't ever say that either, do I? So that's another question you have. What am I doing? So I need to take, and I'm zooming down the, maybe if I say snowy hill, is that a, should I put, so see, I'm taking a different color, and I wrote the new word there because she wasn't even sure I was sledding from my picture. So I had to add some details. I'm zooming down the snowy hill on my toboggan. Now do you know what I'm doing? Yeah, so those are the kinds of details we have to add. We also have to, when we revise, sometimes we take things away. And in another lesson, we'll talk more about keeping the heart of our story, but I just wanted, I had to take out the stuff about my favorite pizza place. Because I'm just telling about sledding and going to the hospital, right? Because that's my small moment.